Go the sneak over the left side, and the beast is in the end zone.
A lot to learn from this one. Obviously, wasn't pretty, but these playoff games, you got to win by one. That's all that matters.
Side, Derrick Henry's in, and the Ravens are right back in it in Buffalo. Looking deep over the middle, wide open is Andrews. Gets away from the tackle, but the ball is out.
It don't always go our way. We want it to, but all the time it's like it's not going our way. We need to figure that out.
Fires to the goal line. Touchdown! Now it comes down to a 2-point conversion. Rolls to the right, throws, complete, no! Dropped it! Celebrate, Bills Mafia! Kansas City, here we come!
Ravens fullback Patrick Ricard said this about Lamar Jackson on the heels of Baltimore's crushing loss in Buffalo. Quote, "It's inevitable. He's gonna win a Super Bowl, and I want to be a part of it. It just sucks that it hasn't happened yet." Look who's joining the conversation. Our girl, Kimberly A. Martin, in the building. Great to see you. It's been a minute. Look who's here.
In the house. Can I tell y'all real quick what's happened to me?
Sure.
Because you always get on me for being the weatherman and all this stuff. Yeah. So I'm in South Florida Sunday morning because I got to get to Atlanta for the national championship game. I'm in Florida. I depart from the airport. It is 83 degrees. Okay. 2 hours later, I land in Atlanta. It's 40 degrees. That next morning, it's 19 degrees. And yesterday morning, it's 9.
Brick outside.
I mean, I'm talking about in Atlanta. I expect that here. Yeah. I didn't expect that. I'm like, damn, how'd that happen? My life is going in the wrong direction, literally, is what I'm trying to say. We need to get back going this way in terms of temperature. I'm going this way.
Luckily,
I am not happy
visiting.
about that. Luckily,
you will be going
I'm
back
just
up.
visiting.
And I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall when he got information that that little plane of his unavailable coming home.
Oh, so he couldn't be in here in New York.
Because I tried to get here for Morris. I tried to get here for Morris.
I would have loved to have been there to see that.
That was not pleasant. That was not pleasant.
Morris
They brought the brother out.
Let me just bring it back to reset in case anybody's joining us. So let me read the quote again from Ravens fullback Patrick Ricard. "It's inevitable." This is after, obviously, Lamar and the Ravens lost. "It's inevitable. He's going to win a Super Bowl, and I want to be a part of it. It just sucks that it hasn't happened yet." Okay, Kimberly, I want to come to you on this. Is it inevitable that Lamar Jackson wins a Super Bowl?
No, it's not inevitable. And I would not. I've talked to Pat Ricard. He was a Raven since 2017, the year before Lamar got there. I wouldn't expect a teammate to say anything less. But here's the problem with that quote. It underscores the harsh reality of the NFL, which is you are not guaranteed a playoff run or a Super Bowl just because you're talented. That same quote, I guarantee you, if you go to Buffalo, if you go to Cincinnati, I'm sure if you go to Ashburn, Virginia, teammates of Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels, and Joe Burrow would all tell you the same thing. These guys are so talented that it is inevitable that they will win a Super Bowl. The problem is, year after year, we see teams that can't go back there. The Detroit Lions, a favorite to be in the Super Bowl this year, aren't playing in the Super Bowl. It just doesn't happen like that. And I understand why he would say that, but talent isn't enough, unfortunately. And when a team like the Ravens, when they don't capitalize on these opportunities, this is what happens.
Yeah, listen, there are two things. I didn't get a chance to talk about Lamar. Let's give him credit. He played very well in the second half. He had a great drive, so he took a big step up. Now, he had those 2 turnovers, but he took a big step up. It can't be inevitable because he's in the same conference with Allen and Mahomes.
And same division as Burrow. Yeah, they continues to go after each other.
Here's the thing that would really bother you if you're a Raven fan. If they had this game in Buffalo at home this week, they would have won. They were the better team than the Bills. They lost to Cleveland, and they lost to the Raiders. They lost 2 games. Buffalo lost to the Rams. They beat good teams, beat Buffalo. They lost to the Raiders and the Browns.
Division opponent.
I understand. The Raiders aren't.
Well, I'm talking about the Browns.
But you got to beat the Cleveland Browns. They had a terrible season. And Kyle Hamilton dropped that interception. Yes. If they win those 2 games, They get the home field against Buffalo.
That's right.
They would have beaten Buffalo at home. They were better. And then who knows? Maybe they would get Kansas City at home. Yeah. They can't be sloppy in these regular. They lose so many games that they shouldn't lose. But you can't say anything is inevitable, Mal, when you're looking at Mahomes in Kansas City, who's the same age, essentially, and you got Allen in Buffalo, who's drafted in the same class. And Burrow's sitting there. He's got 3 great quarterbacks in the conference. That's why it's not inevitable that they go to a Super Bowl.
I have nothing to add because it's exactly what I was going to say. It's not inevitable because you got three dogs standing in your way. And one's a 3-time Super Bowl champion already. The other two, one is a 3-time Super Bowl champion. The other has been to a Super Bowl, and the other has been to as many AFC championship games as you. Yeah. So you can't, and they're all around your age. This is not a foregone conclusion. It is not inevitable. And I tell you something right now. If you're Lamar Jackson, it has to hurt badly because you know that you felt that you were the better team, that you lost, that you committed 2 turnovers earlier that people can look at and cost the game. Me personally, it was Mark Andrews. I love Mark Andrews, respect him, respect the hell out of him, Mr. Reliable. But that fumble, the strip that you got stripped, and then the drop, a 2-point conversion right in the palm of your hands, there's a reason he hasn't been seen, hasn't talked to anybody or whatever. You got to man up and answer those questions and all of that stuff. You're great. We know that. But you didn't handle your business. You got to say that. And in the end, if you're Lamar Jackson, I'm worried about it because Baltimore is a team. They're good enough. They're constantly knocking on the door. But you haven't even gotten to a Super Bowl yet in the Lamar Jackson era. Yeah. Lamar Jackson is going to be named, in all likelihood, he's going to be named MVP again for the 3rd time in his career. I challenge anybody to show me somebody who's going to win the MVP award. And at that moment, how little folks are going to care. Nobody in Baltimore, nobody in the NFL other than the contemporaries, your players and stuff like that because they respect you because they know you're great. But nobody really cares because we know that greatness demands more than that trophy. It demands his presence on the big stage, and he ain't going to be there.
Yeah, for MVP, I think it could be him or Allen.
Yeah, but it'll probably be Lamar. But if it's Lamar, nobody's going to care.
Yeah.
I almost wish they give it to Allen because of that.
Well, and Lamar, when you heard him post-game in that locker room, he's talking about how I'm not going to get it. This one hurts. This team will not be the same. And that is the problem when you get to a point and you don't end up crossing the goal line because the roster is different. Coaches get plucked. Like the Detroit Lions theoretically can lose both their coordinators, and you're looking at them wondering, like, what is their season next year going to look like? And that is the problem when you don't make good on having the talent. It's anybody's guess what's going to happen.
Let me say one thing, though.
Go ahead.
Okay. He's 28 years old.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm betting when it's all said and done, I firmly believe Lamar Jackson wins a Super Bowl.
That's fair.
And Mad Dog, to that you say what?
I would think you're probably right. I think he'll get one. He won't get more than one, but I think he'll get one.
Here's the problem, Molly. You're saying you think he'll get one.
I believe he'll get one.
You believe it?
Yeah.
Hell, we all believe it.
I think he's that talented.
We all believe it. But the operative word is better. You better get one. You better get one. He's too good not to. And here's the deal. Do you know twice over the last few years, Baltimore Ravens have been the number 1 seed?
Yeah. Last year I felt like
number 1.
That's a terrible loss.
Number 1. Number 1. So you've had every situation. You've been a number 1 seed. You've been the favorite. You haven't been the favorite. Mm-hmm. You've been the underdog with minimal expectation. You've lost under every circumstance in the postseason. You got to get it.
But for
you got to get it.
He has to go through Burrow, Josh Allen, and Patrick. Like
some combination.
Some combination of those 3. Like the best quarterbacks are sitting right with you in your conference.
Odds are stacked against him, and maybe he.
But he's so
And I'll switch it up this way. If I'm the Cincinnati Bengals. Not popular to say. I'm looking for somebody different than Zach Taylor. I've said before I want
the September starts?
No. I've said before I want an investigation into what the hell is going on in the offseason that he's never ready to play. This team is never ready to play in September. I mean, they literally lose in the month of September all 6 years. That's unacceptable. I'm saying to you, Burrow, if you retain Chase, that's a bad mother. Oh, Jamar Chase is something special, okay? So you got him, you got Burrow. If their offense is just as potent, you can't assume that Baltimore is going to be at the top of the heap. You understand? If Cleveland gets any kind of quarterback play, you can't assume they're going to remain in the gutter. I mean, these are moments right here. I'm telling you right now, you got roadblocks standing in the way of Lamar Jackson.